Digital Reflections presentation, Video Games, the Next Frontier of Online Learning, by Brock Hamilton, Instructor Pauline Clifford, IDS 101 Cornerstone Seminar, Fall Semester 2020. We are on the edge of a new era of education. Never has there been a greater need for a new platform for education than today. COVID-19 has forced an unprecedented number of students to participate in online learning, and teachers everywhere are struggling to contend with their students' already waning attention spans. Can video games be used to enhance the educational experience by utilizing alternative methods to introduce new information and reinforce information given in the standard setting? Video games, in fact, do offer untapped potential to achieve higher levels of academic proficiency while allowing for the development of alternative teaching methods in the setting of distance learning. COVID-19 is forcing our hand to change the structure of our education. There has always been a battle to maintain students' attention for learning new topics. Students labeled with learning disabilities are often left behind, whether it be ADHD, dyslexia, or autism. Neurodivergent students are often overlooked and held back. Video games are a highly overlooked medium to offer instruction for students of all ages. Many video games currently utilize instructional techniques that are the same as key principles of instruction. Learning is promoted when learners are engaged in solving real-world problems. Learning is promoted when existing knowledge is activated as a foundation for new knowledge. Learning is promoted when new knowledge is demonstrated to the learner. Learning is promoted when new knowledge is applied by the learner. Learning is also promoted when new knowledge is integrated into the learner's world. These principles are all demonstrated in most video games that have a storyline and increased difficulty as the story progresses. Although the knowledge being presented and utilized in the games is not always applicable to the real world, many video games are already formatted to present new information and challenge the player's ability to use it. Games, by definition, are structured almost identical to education. All games have a goal, follow rules, have a feedback system, and require voluntary participation. Education shares three of these characteristics. Learning a new topic while navigating the subject's set of rules is the goal. The feedback system is the grading process that symbolizes the student's levels of mastery over the subjects. The only characteristic lacking in all education is 100% voluntary participation. Video games are inherently stimulating, almost to the point of addiction. Popular video games take advantage of their ability to effectively activate the reward centers of the brain. During video game play, scientists have found massive increases in dopamine in the brain. Dopamine also plays a significant role in memory, motivation, learning, emotion, and desire. Dopamine is a clear connection between what keeps people playing games and their ability to accomplish increasingly difficult demands throughout gameplay. Video games can be addicting and lower mental health if paired with less physical activity. The dopamine released during gameplay can lead to addictive behavior. Also, lack of physical activity can lead to a decreased quality of mental health. The benefits of using video games outweigh the potential risks. While it can cause an addiction, dopamine is also a part of the pathway responsible for ensuring students stay engaged in the activity while also promoting and strengthening the retention of new information. Addiction is avoidable. The addictive attribute should be kept in mind to determine the extent in which video games should be used in education. Screen time limiters can be used to disrupt the possibility of addiction. Also, with virtual reality becoming increasingly popular, games can also include physical activity. In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the conventional education format is being stretched to its limit. Computer programs are already in use to teach basic subjects like math, but they lack the flair popular video games have for engaging the player and making them come back for more. Game structure already mimics the educational expectations of goals, rules, and feedback. Current formats of long-form video games easily fills the needs of many principles of instruction. Research needs to be done to elevate educational video games to the quality of some of the top-selling video games while delivering useful real-world information. Research reflections. Finding resources to support my thesis was easier than I thought. It may be because I was already interested in the topic of education reform and human cognition. I was shocked at how well the information worked together, but that may just be some confirmation bias. The challenge I had was properly presenting the topics in a professional format, and I think that is where the instruction from this class helped the most. Reflections on IDS101 Cornerstone Seminar. Some challenges I encountered were time management. I often found myself working up to the last minute on most of my assignments. Understanding types of sources and their validity is also quite challenging in understanding primary versus secondary sources. Also had to keep in mind to keep my scope of research narrow so my research paper wasn't too long. Some tools I picked up that I will bring with me in my education journey are proper citation practices, the use of anti-plagiarism software, the amazing resource of the virtual library, and tutor.com to help me go over everything that I'm working on.
Works cited